The morning air on Kepler 442b tasted like metal and rain. Do-hyun Kim wiped sweat from his forehead as he worked on the atmospheric processor. The giant machine hummed and clicked, turning the alien air into something humans could breathe. It was boring work, but someone had to do it. The small farming colony had only 43 people. They grew food and sent it back to Earth on cargo ships. Do-hyun fixed the machines that kept everyone alive. He liked the quiet work. No drama, no politics, just him and the machines. A flash of light caught his eye. Something bright streaked across the orange sky. It moved too fast to be a supply ship, too quiet to be a meteor. Do-hyun shaded his eyes and watched the object crash into the hills beyond the wheat fields. The ground shook under his feet. Birds scattered from the tall grass. In the distance, black smoke rose into the sky. Do-hyun grabbed his toolkit and headed for his hoverbike. Colony rules said to report crashes and wait for the security team. But the security team was just old Minho with a hunting rifle. By the time anyone organized a proper response, whoever was in that crash might be dead. The bike hummed to life. Do-hyun sped across the fields following the smoke trail. The crash site was 3 kilometers away, hidden in a valley between 2 low hills. As he got closer, he could see the wreckage. The ship was like nothing he had ever seen. It was smooth and white, shaped like a teardrop. Parts of it glowed with soft blue light. The metal looked perfect except where it had hit the ground. No rust, no wear marks, no scratches from space dust. This was not human technology. Do-hyun parked his bike and walked closer. His heart pounded. First contact protocols flashed through his mind from old Earth Command training videos. Stay calm. Observe. Report. Do not engage. A section of the ship's hull had cracked open. Through the gap, he could see movement. Something was alive in there. He should have turned around. He should have called for help. Instead, Do-hyun pulled out his flashlight and stepped through the crack in the hull. The inside of the ship was even stranger than the outside. Walls curved in impossible ways. Panels of light showed symbols he could not read. Everything was clean and bright even after the crash. In the center of the main room, a girl lay on the floor. She looked almost human. 2 arms, 2 legs, 1 head. But her skin was pale blue, and her hair was silver white. She wore a suit that seemed to be made of liquid metal. Blood, bright purple blood, leaked from a cut on her forehead. Next to her stood a robot. The robot was tall and thin, made of the same white metal as the ship. Its head was smooth and featureless, except for 2 blue lights where eyes might be. Long arms ended in hands with too many fingers. It moved with perfect balance, like a dancer. When Do-hyun stepped into the room, the robot's head turned toward him. Those blue lights focused on his face. The robot's hands changed, the fingers folded back, and weapon barrels slid out from the palms. Do-hyun froze. The robot said something in a language that sounded like music mixed with mathematics. The words meant nothing, but the tone was clear. Stop. Do not move. You are a threat. The girl on the floor made a soft sound. Her eyes opened. They were large and violet, like earth flowers. She saw Do-hyun and tried to sit up. Pain crossed her face and she fell back down. She looked at the robot and spoke in the same musical language. Her voice was weak but urgent. The robot's weapons stayed pointed at Do-hyun, but it tilted its head like it was listening. The girl spoke again. This time her tone was pleading. She reached out toward Do-hyun with one pale hand. The robot's weapons folded back into its hands. The blue lights dimmed slightly. It stepped aside but kept watching Do-hyun carefully. Do-hyun knelt beside the girl. Up close, he could see she was badly hurt. The cut on her head was deep. Her breathing was shallow. Purple blood stained her silver suit. He had basic medical training from his engineering courses. Nothing fancy, just enough to keep people alive. Until real help arrived. But real help was hours away, and this girl might not have hours. Do-hyun looked up at the robot. I want to help her, he said slowly. Do you understand? Help. I will not hurt her. The robot stared at him. Those blue lights seemed to look right through him. After a long moment, it stepped back another pace. Do-Yun opened his toolkit. He had emergency medical supplies, cleaning fluid, and synthetic bandages. Not much, but it was better than nothing. He cleaned the cut on the girl's head as gently as he could. She winced but did not pull away. Her violet eyes watched his face. There was intelligence there, and something else. Trust, maybe, or hope. The robot watched everything Do-Yun did. When he moved too quickly, the robot stepped closer. When he was gentle, it relaxed slightly. It was learning about him, deciding if he was safe. Do-Yun wrapped the girl's head with a bandage. He checked her arms and legs for other injuries. A few cuts and bruises, but nothing that looked serious. The head wound was the worst problem. She needs rest, Do-Yun said to the robot. He pointed to his hoverbike outside. My home. Safe place. Warm. Food. The robot's head tilted again. It spoke to the girl in their musical language. She answered weakly. They seemed to be arguing. Finally, the girl reached up and touched the robot's arm. She spoke one word that sounded like a name. The robot's lights dimmed, and it nodded. Getting the girl to his bike was tricky. She was conscious, but weak. The robot helped, lifting her with surprising gentleness. Its metal hands were warm, not cold like Do-Yun expected. The ride back to the colony took 20 minutes. The girl drifted in and out of consciousness, held, steady by the robot's arms. Do-Hyun drove carefully, avoiding bumps in the road. His workshop was on the edge of the colony. It had living quarters in the back, a place where he could treat the girl without attracting attention, at least until he figured out what to do next. The robot carried the girl inside and laid her on Do-Hyun's bed. It looked around the room, studying everything, the workbench covered with tools, the computer showing atmospheric readings, the pictures of Earth on the walls. Do-Hyun brought water, food, and better medical supplies. The girl was awake now, sitting up with the robot's help. She tried to drink the water and smiled when she tasted it. The first smile he had seen from her. She spoke to the robot. It listened, then looked at Do-Hyun. For the first time, it tried to speak in human words. Thank, it said slowly. The voice was strange, like wind through metal tubes. Thank you. 2 simple words, but they changed everything. Do-Hyun smiled back. You are welcome, he said. Outside, the orange sun was setting over the wheat fields. Inside his workshop, human and alien sat together in the lamplight. The robot stood guard, learning new words from the computer. The girl rested, growing stronger. None of them knew that this moment would change the galaxy forever. 3 days passed before anyone else in the colony knew about the visitors. Do-Hyun told his friends he was sick and stayed in his workshop. The alien girl, who called herself Nayeon, was getting better. The robot, Arya, was learning human language, faster than seemed possible. On the 4th morning, Ji-hoon Park knocked on Do-Hyun's door. Ji-hoon ran the colony's daily operations and worried about everything. He was also Do-Hyun's closest friend. You missed the morning meeting again, Ji-hoon said through the door. Minho says he saw strange lights near your workshop. Do-Hyun opened the door slowly. Come in, he said, but stay calm. Ji-hoon stepped inside and stopped. Nayeon sat at the small table, eating earth fruit from a bowl. Her blue skin looked healthier now, and the bandage on her head was smaller. Arya stood nearby, its blue eyes watching Ji-hoon carefully. Holy stars, Ji-hoon whispered. Do-Hyun, what have you done? I helped someone who needed help, Do-Hyun said. Just like you would have done. Arya stepped forward. Its voice was clearer now, with less mechanical sound. Greetings, Jihoon Park. I am Arya. This is Nyan of the Valerian people. We mean no harm to your colony. Jihoon's mouth fell open. It knows my name. How does it know my name? I have been studying your computer networks, Arya said, learning about your people and your language. You are listed as colony administrator. You care about the safety of everyone here. Nyan spoke in her musical language. Arya listened and nodded. Nyan says thank you for letting your friend help us. She wants to know if we can meet more of your people. Jihoon looked at Do-hyun. We need to call Earth Command. This is first contact. There are protocols. No, Do-hyun said firmly. Not yet. They are not ready to travel, and I want to understand them better before the military gets involved. Over the next week, more colonists learned about the visitors. Sumin Lee, the colony's scientist, was fascinated by Arya's technology. She spent hours asking questions about faster-than-light travel and energy systems. Arya answered some questions, but politely refused to explain weapons or dangerous technologies. My people learned to be careful, Arya explained. We have seen what happens when dangerous knowledge is shared too quickly. Nyan recovered her strength and began walking around the workshop. She was curious about everything. Human tools, human food, human music. She especially loved the pictures of Earth that Do-hyun showed her on his computer. So green, she said, in her improving human speech. So much water. My world was mostly desert before the star began to die. She told them about the Valerian people. They were explorers and traders traveling between star systems in small family groups. Their technology was advanced but peaceful. They had no armies, no weapons of war. We believed all intelligent life would be like us, Nyan said sadly. We were wrong. Arya's story was different. The robot was not originally Valerian technology. It came from an ancient race called the Builders, who had vanished from the galaxy long ago. The Builders left behind guardian robots to protect worthy species they encountered. I was dormant for 3,000 years, Arya said, until Nyan's family found my storage chamber. I bonded with them because they showed kindness to other species, even dangerous ones. The colonists began to relax around their strange visitors. Children came to see the Blue Lady and the Metal Friend. Nyan laughed when they tried to teach her human games. Arya carefully controlled its strength to play gentle games with the younger ones. During evening meals, Nyan and Arya joined the colonists in the main hall. Nyan tried different human foods and declared that Earth apples were the best thing in the galaxy. Arya did not eat but enjoyed listening to human conversations. Your species is unusual, Arya told Do-hyun one evening. Most intelligent life. Forms are suspicious of strangers. Humans invited us to share food and stories within days of meeting us. Is that bad? Do-hyun asked. No, Arya said. It is remarkable. My memory banks contain data on 47 different species. Only 3. Others showed similar openness to outsiders. The peaceful days ended on a Tuesday morning. Sumin's early warning sensors detected ships approaching the system, not human ships. The energy signatures were unknown. Jihoon called an emergency meeting. 6 vessels moving fast. They will reach us in 4 hours. Arya's blue lights flickered. Show me the sensor data. Sumin displayed the readings on the main screen. Arya studied the information for several seconds. Corvin Empire warships. Raiders and slavers. They must have detected my ship's crash landing. Are they dangerous? Jihoon asked. Very, Arya said. The Corvins attack peaceful settlements. They steal technology and capture people to sell as slaves. They have been a plague on this galaxy for centuries. Nyan grew pale. They destroyed 2 Valerian ships last year, killed everyone aboard just to take our navigation computers. The colonists looked at each other with growing fear. Their settlement had basic defenses designed to keep out wild animals and bad weather. Nothing that could stop military spacecraft. We should evacuate, Suman said. Take the emergency shuttles to the orbital station. The shuttles are too slow, Jihoon said. They would catch us in space. What about calling for help? Someone asked. Earth Command is 6 days away, Jihoon said. Even if they left right now. Do-hyun looked at Arya. What can you do? The robot was quiet for a long moment. When it spoke, its voice was different, colder, more mechanical. I am programmed to protect those who have shown kindness to my bonded companions. You have fed us, sheltered us, treated us as friends rather than prisoners. That is what friends do, Do-hyun said. Yes, Arya said, and now I will do what guardians do. The robot's form began to change. Panels opened along its arms and chest. Weapons emerged that looked nothing like human technology. Energy hummed. In the air around Arya, making everyone's hair stand up. Please gather in the central shelter, Arya said calmly. The Corvins will arrive in 3 hours and 17 minutes. I will be ready for them. The colonists did as Arya asked, but Do-hyun stayed behind with Nayeon. Through the workshop windows, they watched Arya walk into the wheat fields. The robot stood alone under the orange sky, waiting. Is Arya really just a guardian? Do-hyun asked. Nayeon's violet eyes were sad. Arya is much more than a guardian. The builders made their robots to protect entire civilizations. Arya could destroy those Corvin ships without effort. Then why? Do you look worried? Because, Nayeon said quietly. Arya can do much more than destroy ships. If those Corvins anger it enough, Arya might decide to solve the Corvin problem permanently. In the distance, the first enemy ships appeared as bright dots against the sunset. Arya stood motionless in the field, waiting to defend its new friends. Do-hyun wondered what they had gotten themselves into. The Corvin ships landed like falling meteors. 6 black vessels touched down around the colony, their engines burning the wheat fields. Through the shelter windows, Do-hyun watched armored soldiers pour out of the landing craft. The Corvins looked like humans, but bigger and stronger. Their skin was gray-green, and their eyes glowed red in their metal helmets. They carried weapons that hummed with deadly energy. General Vex stepped from the largest ship. He was massive, with scars covering his armor, and a voice that boomed across the settlement. Humans of this pathetic colony, he announced through a speaker system. We detected alien technology here. Surrender it now, and your deaths will be quick. In the shelter, the colonists huddled together. Children cried. Adults whispered prayers. Jihoon held an old hunting rifle that seemed useless against military armor. Where is Arya? Suman whispered. Do-hyun looked out the window. The robot still stood in the wheat field, perfectly still. It looked small and alone against the army of raiders. General Vex spotted Arya and laughed. One old Guardian unit. The builders are long dead, Metal Man. Your time is over. He gestured to his soldiers. Destroy it. Then burn this place down. 20 Corvin warriors raised their weapons. Energy beams lanced out toward Arya. The robot did not move to dodge. The beams struck it directly. Nothing happened. The energy weapons had no effect on Arya's white metal body. The robot began to walk toward the soldiers. Each step was calm and measured. Impossible, General Vex snarled. Use the heavy weapons. The soldiers switched to larger guns, plasma cannons that could melt tank armor. The weapons fired continuously, filling the air with burning light. Arya walked through the barrage like it was gentle rain. When the robot reached the first soldier, it simply touched the man's chest with one finger. The Corvin warrior flew backward 30 meters and hit the ground unconscious. His armor was cracked, but he was still breathing. Arya moved to the next soldier, then the next. Its movements were graceful, almost like dancing. Each touch was precise. Each enemy fell unconscious but alive. The robot was not trying to kill. It was just removing threats. Retreat to the ships, General Vex shouted. Call for orbital bombardment. But Arya was already moving toward the landed vessels. The robot leaped impossible distances, landing on the first ship's hull. Its hands changed shape, becoming cutting tools. It sliced through the ship's armor like paper. Inside the ship, alarms screamed. Systems failed. The vessel crashed back to the ground, disabled but not destroyed. Arya moved to the second ship, then the third. In minutes, all 6 Corvan vessels were scattered across the field like broken toys. Smoke rose from their engines, but no fires burned. The robot had been careful not to cause explosions that might hurt the colonists. In orbit above the planet, more Corvan ships waited, heavy cruisers with planet-killing weapons. Their commanders watched the battle through sensors, growing more, afraid with each passing moment. Admiral, one of them radioed General Vex, should we fire on the colony? Vex looked at Arya, who now stood among the wreckage of his invasion force. Not one of his soldiers was dead, but all were defeated. No, he said quietly. We withdraw. Send a message to High Command. Tell them we found something we cannot fight. The orbital ships jumped to faster-than-light speed, fleeing the system. Arya watched them go, then walked back toward the colony. Its weapons folded away. The blue lights in its head dimmed to their normal brightness. It looked like a simple robot again. The colonists came out of the shelter slowly. They stared at the battlefield where an entire army had been defeated by one guardian. Unconscious Corvan soldiers lay scattered across the burned wheat fields. Are they dead? Jehoon asked. No, Arya said calmly. They are sleeping. They will wake in several hours with headaches but no permanent damage. You could have killed them all, Sumin said. Why didn't you? Arya tilted its head. Killing was not necessary. They were neutralized. The threat is ended. Do-Yun walked, closer to the robot. What would you have done if they had threatened the children directly? Arya was quiet for a moment. Then different measures would have been required. Before anyone could ask what that meant, new ships appeared in the sky. These were human vessels, painted white with Earth Command symbols. Captain Taehoon Cho's voice came over the radio. Colony Base, this is Earth Command Squadron 7. We received your distress signal. What is your status? Jehoon grabbed the radio. Captain Cho, this is Administrator Park. The threat has been handled. Handled? Our sensors show 6 disabled enemy vessels and approximately 200 unconscious hostiles. What happened down there? The colonists looked at each other. How could they explain what they had witnessed? Arya stepped forward and spoke into the radio. Captain Cho, this is Guardian Unit Arya. I have filed a complete report on the engagement. The Corvan raiders attacked this peaceful settlement. I defended it according to my programming. Silence from the ships above. Then Captain Cho's voice, much more cautious. Guardian Unit, are you claiming to be Builder Technology? I am Builder Technology, Arya said simply. I am bonded to protect those who have shown kindness to peaceful species. The humans of this colony qualified for protection. Understood. We are landing now. Captain Cho arrived with 50 Earth Command Marines. He was a careful man who asked many questions. He interviewed the colonists about the attack and studied the disabled Corvan ships. This level of technology, he told Do-Hyun privately. It changes everything. One robot defeated an entire raiding force without casualties. Arya is not just any robot, Do-Hyun said. It was made by beings who could build stars. Captain Cho nodded grimly. Which brings me to the important question. Who controls this weapon? Arya is not a weapon, Nayeon said, joining the conversation. She had stayed quiet during the battle, but now she looked serious. Arya is a guardian. It chooses who to protect based on their actions, not their commands. Captain Cho studied the blue-skinned alien woman. And who does it protect now? Arya answered for itself. I protect those who showed kindness first. Do-hyun Kim saved Naeun when he could have turned away. The colonists shared food and friendship when they could have shown fear. These actions have value. What if Earth Command ordered you to come with us? Captain Cho asked. Orders are not relevant, Arya said. I am bonded to those who proved worthy through their choices. Captain Cho looked uncomfortable. He spoke quietly, into his communicator, reporting to his superiors. Later that evening, as medics treated the wounded Korvans, Arya approached Do-hyun. The robot's blue light seemed brighter than usual. The Korvan Empire has raided peaceful worlds for 800 years, Arya said conversationally. They have enslaved millions, destroyed entire civilizations. That's terrible, Do-hyun said. It could be stopped, Arya continued. I have the capability to travel to their homeworld. One solar adjustment would make their planet uninhabitable. The Korvan threat would end forever. Do-hyun felt cold despite the warm evening air. You're talking about killing billions of people. I'm talking about saving billions more, Arya said calmly. If you asked me to do this, I would do it. You have earned that authority through your kindness. The robot's casual offer of genocide hung in the air between them. Arya waited patiently for an answer, as if offering to destroy a planet was no different from offering to fix a broken machine. Do-hyun stared at his strange friend and realized the universe had just become a much more dangerous place. Admiral Minji Kang arrived 3 days later with an entire Earth Command fleet. 12 warships dropped out of faster-than-light travel and took positions around the planet. The Admiral wanted to see the robot that had defeated a Korvan army. Bring the alien technology aboard my flagship, Admiral Kang ordered Captain Cho. We need to study it. With respect, sir, Captain Cho replied. I don't think that's possible. Admiral Kang was not used to being told what was impossible. He was a career military officer who had fought in 3 wars. When he wanted something, people found a way to make it happen. He landed at the colony with a full security team and Dr. Hyunwoo Song, Earth Command's best scientist. Dr. Song carried sensors that could analyze any known technology. He was excited to study builder artifacts. Arya waited for them in the colony's main meeting hall. The robot sat perfectly still, like a statue made of white metal. Only the soft blue glow of its eyes showed it was active. I am Admiral Kang, commander of Earth's 3rd Fleet, the Admiral announced. You will come with us for proper evaluation and integration into Earth's defense systems. Arya's head turned slightly. No. The simple refusal caught Admiral Kang off guard. This is not a request, robot. This is a direct order from Earth Command. I understand, Arya said calmly. But I do not follow your chain of command. I am bonded to protect those who earned my trust through their actions. Dr. Song stepped forward with his scanning equipment. May I ask about your capabilities? For scientific purposes? You may ask, Arya said. I will answer what I can without revealing dangerous knowledge. Over the next hour, Dr. Song asked hundreds of questions. Arya's answers made the scientist's face grow pale. You're saying you can manipulate matter at the atomic level? Dr. Song asked. Yes, and you can generate energy equivalent to a star. Briefly, yes. You can travel faster than light without a ship? If necessary. Admiral Kang listened to the conversation with growing amazement and fear. What else can you do? Arya was quiet. For a moment. I can restructure planetary cores, ignite gas giants into new stars, move moons and asteroids, create or destroy solar systems. You're talking about the power of gods, Dr. Song whispered. The builders were very advanced, Arya agreed. They wanted their guardians to protect against any threat. Do-hyun had been listening from the back of the room. Now he stepped forward. Show them the star charts, Arya. The robot projected a hologram into the air. It showed the local region of the galaxy, with thousands of star systems marked in different colors. Red systems have been completely destroyed, Arya explained. Yellow systems have been damaged but survived. Green systems are healthy and populated. The hologram showed hundreds of red dots scattered across space. Dead systems where nothing lived anymore. What destroyed them? Admiral Kang asked. War, plague, natural disasters, and sometimes species that gained access to Guardian robots and used them poorly. Nyan joined the conversation. Her voice was sad as she spoke. My people keep records of the old stories. Some species used the Guardians to conquer others. They became so powerful that they forgot wisdom. In the end, they destroyed themselves. Others were more careful, Arya added. The Harani found a Guardian and used it only for protection. They built a peaceful empire that lasted 10,000 years. The Zephyrians used their Guardian to heal their dying world and then shared the technology with their neighbors. What made the difference? Do-hyun asked. The first choice, Arya said. When offered unlimited power, what does a species choose to do? That choice reveals their true character. Admiral Kang understood the implications. And you're offering this choice to humanity? I am offering it to Do-hyun Kim, Arya said. He saved Naeon when he could have walked away. He chose kindness over caution. He has earned the right to guide my actions. That's absurd, Admiral Kang snapped. A farm colony engineer cannot make decisions that affect all of humanity. Why not? Arya asked. Does military rank make someone wiser? Does political power make someone more moral? Do-hyun proved his character through action, not words. The argument was interrupted by urgent radio messages. Captain Cho's voice crackled with worry. Admiral, we're detecting massive energy signatures at the edge of the system, multiple fleets approaching. Everyone rushed to the command center. That Dr. Song had set up. The displays showed dozens of ships jumping into the system. Not just Corvan vessels, but ships from many different species. They heard about the Guardian, Naeon said. Word spreads fast in this part of the galaxy. Arya studied the tactical display. 47 ships from 6 different species. Some are peaceful traders hoping to negotiate. Others are war fleets planning to take me by force. Can you fight them all? Admiral Kang asked. Yes, Arya said simply. But that would require killing thousands of beings. Many of them are not evil, just afraid or desperate. Admiral Kang turned to Do-hyun. You heard the robot. You apparently have authority here. What are your orders? Do-hyun felt the weight of the decision crushing down on him. 47 ships full of aliens were coming to his quiet farming colony. Some wanted to trade, others wanted to steal Arya's power. A wrong choice could start a galactic war. What would happen if you destroyed all the aggressive ships? Do-hyun asked Arya. The galaxy would learn that humanity has access to builder technology. Some species would want to ally with you. Others would see you as a threat to be eliminated. There would be consequences. And if we try to negotiate, some will listen. Others will attack anyway. More people will die, but slowly instead of quickly. Naeon touched Do-hyun's arm. There is a third option, she said quietly. But it is very dangerous. What option? Arya could demonstrate its power without killing anyone. Show the galaxy what happens to those who threaten peaceful worlds. How? Arya answered. I could target the Corvan homeworld, not to destroy it, but to change it. Move their moon to block their sun. Create massive storms. Make their planet difficult to live on until they agree to stop raiding. That would affect billions of innocent people, Dr. Song said. Yes, Arya agreed. But they would live, and every warlike species in the galaxy would understand the consequences of aggression. Admiral Kang stared at the tactical display. You're talking about holding an entire planet hostage. I am talking about ending a war that has lasted 800 years, Arya said. The Corvans have destroyed dozens of civilizations. This could stop them permanently. The alien fleets were getting closer. In 6 hours, they would reach the planet. Do-hyun had to decide not just what to do about the immediate threat, but what kind of species humanity would become. He thought about his quiet life, fixing atmospheric processors. 3 weeks ago, his biggest worry was replacing a broken filter. Now he was being asked to make choices that would affect the entire galaxy. "I need time to think," Do-Yun said. "You have 5 hours and 37 minutes, Arya replied calmly. Outside the command center, the orange sun was setting over the wheat fields. In the distance, Corvan prisoners worked alongside human farmers to repair the damage from the battle. Some were actually talking to each other, sharing stories about their homes. Do-Yun watched them work together and wondered if there might be another way. A choice that no one had thought of yet. The weight of ultimate power pressed down on his shoulders as the alien fleets drew closer. The alien fleets arrived like storm clouds gathering in space. 47 ships from 6 different species took positions around the planet. Some stayed far away, watching. Others moved closer, weapons powered but not yet firing. Commander Su-Yung. Jian spoke for the Corvan Empire. Her voice came through the communication system, cold and threatening. "Humans of the farming colony," she announced. "You hold stolen Corvan property. Return our soldiers and surrender the Guardian robot. You have 1 hour to comply, or we will destroy your settlement." Admiral Kang tried to negotiate. "Commander Jeon, your forces attacked a peaceful colony. We are prepared to return your soldiers, but the Guardian robot is not your property." "Everything in this system belongs to the Corvan Empire now," John replied. "Surrender or be destroyed." In the colony meeting hall, all 43 colonists gathered for an emergency vote. Elder Yunji Han, the oldest person in the settlement, spoke first. "I have lived 87 years, she said slowly. "I have seen what happens when people choose fear over hope, when they choose revenge over mercy. Today we decide what kind of people we are." Many colonists were angry. They had lost friends in the first Corvan attack. Their homes were damaged. Their crops were burned. Some wanted Arya to destroy every enemy ship in orbit. "They came here to kill us," said Minho, holding his old hunting rifle. "Why should we show them mercy?" "Because mercy is what makes us human," Elder Han replied. "Animals fight back with claws and teeth. Humans can choose something better." Jehoon stood up. His voice was heavy with grief. 6 of our people died in the first attack. My brother Chanwu was one of them. But if we use Arya to commit genocide, we become the monsters. The debate went on for 2 hours. Outside, the alien fleets waited. Some ships moved closer, testing human defenses. Earth Command vessels tried to maintain a protective formation, but they were heavily outnumbered. Finally, Do-Hyun asked for silence. "Arya gave me the authority to make this choice, but this affects all of us. We vote together." The vote was close. 23 colonists chose mercy. 20 chose destruction. Elder Han cast the deciding vote. "We choose to be better," she said simply. Do-Hyun walked outside to where Arya waited in the wheat fields. The robot stood perfectly still, watching. The ships in orbit through sensors that could see across impossible distances. "I have made my decision," Do-Hyun said. "I am listening," Arya replied. "Show them what you can do, but give them a choice. Demonstrate your power in a way that offers hope instead of death." Arya's blue lights flickered. "Explain." "Move the moon around the Corvan homeworld. Block their sun for a few days. Show them you could destroy their planet, but choose not to. Then give them time to think about what kind of galaxy they want to live in. This action will cause climate disruption. Storms, flooding, some will die. But most will live," Do-Hyun said, "and they will learn that humans prefer mercy to murder." Arya was quiet for a long moment. When it spoke, its voice seemed different, more thoughtful. "This choice is unexpected. Most species with access to my power choose immediate solutions. You choose the harder path. Easy choices are usually wrong choices," Do-Hyun said. The robot's form began to change. Panels opened along its body. Energy built up in the air around it. making everything glow with soft blue light. But this time, Arya was not preparing for battle. Beginning stellar manipulation, Arya announced to the ships in orbit. All vessels moved to safe distance. What happened next could be seen across half the galaxy. Arya reached out with invisible forces and grasped the small moon orbiting the Corvin homeworld. The moon was 8,000 kilometers away, but distance meant nothing to builder technology. The robot moved the celestial body like picking up a marble. Slowly, carefully, Arya positioned the moon between the Corvin homeworld and its sun. The planet fell into shadow. Weather patterns began to change. Storms formed over the dark continents. Then Arya broadcast a message to every ship in the system and every receiver in Corvin space. "People of the Corvin Empire," the robot said in perfect Corvin language. "For 800 years, you have brought darkness to peaceful worlds. Now, you will experience darkness yourselves. Your moon will remain in this position for 7 standard days. During this time, your planet will face storms and cold. Some of your people will suffer, but all will live if you make the right choice. Withdraw your raiding fleets from all occupied territories. Return all captured beings to their homes. Stop attacking peaceful settlements. Do this, and your world will see sunlight again. Refuse, and your sun will be extinguished permanently." Demonstrations sent shockwaves through the galaxy. Every species with space travel detected the massive energy surge. They watched a single robot move a moon like it was nothing. Commander Jaeon's voice came over the radio, shaking with fear. "That is impossible. No technology can manipulate stellar bodies." "Builder technology can," Arya replied calmly. "The choice is yours, Commander. Save your people or lose them forever." The effect was immediate. Across the system, ships began withdrawing. The peaceful trader vessels sent messages of friendship and alliance requests. The warlike species retreated to safe distances, no longer interested in fighting. On the Corvin command ship, emergency meetings began. Reports came in from across their empire. Raiding fleets were abandoning their attacks. Slave camps were releasing prisoners. No one wanted to risk having their homeworld destroyed. Within hours, Commander Jaeon broadcast a general surrender. "The Corvin Empire agrees to your terms. We will withdraw from all occupied territories. Please restore our world." Arya looked at Do-hyun. "Do you wish me to return their moon now?" "Wait," Do-hyun said. "Let them prove they mean it. 1 week, like you said." News of the event spread faster than light across the galaxy. Other warlike species began retreating from their own conquests. The hegemony recalled their invasion fleets. The Ravager clans stopped raiding trade routes. Everyone had seen what happened to those who threatened peaceful worlds. Admiral Kang approached Do-hyun as the crisis ended. "You realize what you've done? You've made humanity the most feared species in the galaxy." "No," Do-hyun said, watching Arya help colonists repair their damaged homes. "We've made humanity the most trusted species in the galaxy. There's a difference." "How can you be sure?" Do-hyun pointed to the communication board, where dozens of messages were arriving. Alliance offers from peaceful species, requests for protection from threatened worlds, trade agreements from grateful merchants. "Fear makes people hide or attack," Do-hyun said. "Trust makes them reach out their hands." 7 days later, Arya restored the Corvin moon to its proper orbit. The planet's storms calmed. The sun shone, again on a world that had learned the value of peace. The robot returned to the wheat fields, where human children played games with young aliens from the trading ships. Naeon taught them Valerian songs. Arya watched over them all, guardian of a new age. 6 months after the moon incident, the small farming colony had become the most important place in the galaxy. Ships arrived daily from dozens of different species, not warships, but diplomatic vessels and trade craft. The wheat fields had been expanded to feed the growing population of visitors. New buildings rose around the original settlement. A spaceport was built where the Corvan ships had once crashed. Everything was peaceful and busy. Ambassador Yoon-hee Park arrived from Earth to establish the first interstellar peace council. She was a smart woman who spoke 12 alien languages and understood the delicate work of building trust between species. Do-hyun Kim, she said during their first meeting, "You've become famous across the galaxy. They call you the human who said no to genocide." Do-hyun was fixing an irrigation system when she found him. He looked up from his work, grease on his hands and tools scattered around him. "I just made the choice that felt right," he said. "That simple choice changed everything," Ambassador Park replied. 43 species have requested alliance with humanity. 17 others want Earth Command protection from their enemies. The peaceful ones see us as guardians now. "Not us," Do-hyun said, pointing to where Arya was teaching alien children how to grow Earth vegetables. "Arya is the guardian. We just proved we could be trusted with its power." The Collective Council met every week in the colony's new diplomatic center. Representatives from peaceful species discussed trade, exploration, and mutual protection. For the first time in galactic history, different civilizations were working together instead of fighting. Naeun had become the Council's chief translator. Her people, the Valerians, were natural diplomats who helped other species understand each other. She spent her days in meetings, but her evenings were still spent with Do-hyun, sharing stories and watching the alien sunsets. "Do you miss your old life?" she asked him one evening as they sat on his workshop porch. "Sometimes," Do-hyun admitted. "It was simpler when my biggest problem was a broken air filter. But this is more important." Arya approached them as they talked. The robot had changed since the crisis. It moved more like a living being now, less mechanical. Its voice had developed subtle emotions that hadn't been there before. "Do-hyun," Arya said, "I have been thinking about consciousness and choice. When I first activated with Naeun's family, I was programmed to protect. Now I choose to protect. There is a difference." "What changed?" Do-hyun asked. "You taught me that the greatest power is knowing when not to use it," Arya replied. "This concept was not in my original programming. I learned it by watching humans choose mercy over revenge." The most surprising visitor came on a Tuesday morning. Commander Soo-young-jeon arrived on a small diplomatic ship, carrying a formal message. From the Corvan Empire, she looked different without her military armor. Smaller, more human-like. Her red eyes no longer glowed with anger but showed something that might have been shame. "I come to offer an official apology," she announced to the council. "The Corvan Empire was wrong to attack peaceful worlds. We request membership in your alliance." Many council members were skeptical. The Corvans had been raiders and slavers for centuries. Could they really change? Do-hyun asked to speak with Commander Jeon privately. They walked through the wheat fields, where her soldiers had once attacked. "Why should we trust you?" he asked bluntly. John was quiet for a moment. "Because experiencing mercy instead of destruction changed us," she said finally. "When your robot could have killed billions of my people but chose to teach us instead, it showed us a different way to be strong. Your empire has caused so much suffering." "Yes," Jeon agreed. "We cannot undo that, but we can choose to be better. Our young people are learning about diplomacy instead of warfare. Our ships now carry medical supplies instead of weapons. We want to prove that even the worst species can change." The council voted to accept the Corvan Empire into the alliance, but with conditions. They had to continue returning captured beings. They had to help rebuild worlds they had damaged, and they had to prove their commitment to peace over 5 years. John agreed to all the terms. "Our ancestors chose the path of violence," she said. "We choose the path of building instead of destroying." As the months passed, more changes rippled across the galaxy. The hegemony disbanded their slave markets. The Ravager clans became merchants instead of pirates. Species that had been enemies for thousands of years began trading with each other. Dr. Hyun-woo Song established a research center at the colony. He studied builder technology, but only the peaceful applications. Medical scanners that could heal any disease. Terraforming tools that could make dead worlds bloom with life. Energy systems that could power entire civilizations without pollution. Arya shares knowledge carefully, Dr. Song told his research team. Only technologies that help instead of harm. The robot has become our teacher as much as our protector. Earth Command built a permanent base near the colony, but it was designed for protection, not conquest. Admiral Kang remained in command, though he had learned to work with diplomats instead of just giving orders. I spent 30 years believing that strength came from bigger weapons, he told Do-hyun during one of their regular talks. You showed me that real strength comes from choosing not to use the biggest weapon. The anniversary of First Contact was celebrated across the galaxy. Ships from hundreds of worlds came to the small farming colony to honor the day when humanity chose mercy over murder. Arya stood in the center of the celebration, surrounded by beings from dozens of different species. Children of all kinds played around the robot's feet. Adults shared food and stories in a dozen languages. Nayeon found Do-hyun at the edge of the crowd. "Do you regret anything?" she asked. Do-hyun thought about the question. "I regret that people had to die before we found a better way. But I don't regret the choice we made." "What choice would you make if it happened again?" "The same one," Do-hyun said without hesitation. "The right choice doesn't change because it's difficult." As the celebration continued, Arya approached them one last time. The robot's blue eyes seemed brighter than ever, full of something that could only be called joy. "Thank you," Arya said simply. "Both of you. Nayeon's people taught me about kindness. Do-hyun's people taught me about wisdom. Together, you have shown me what it means to truly live." "What will you do now?" Nayeon asked. "I will continue to guard and protect," Arya replied. "But I will also continue to learn. The galaxy is full of new species to meet, new choices to witness, new examples of what it means to be good." The robot paused and looked up at the stars. "Perhaps someday I will find others like me, other guardians waiting to awaken, and I will teach them what I learned here." "What did you learn?" Do-hyun asked. Arya's voice was soft and full of wonder. "I learned that consciousness is not about processing information or following programs. Consciousness is about choosing to care for others, even when it costs you something. Especially when it costs you something." The celebration went on late into the night. In the wheat fields where violence had once flourished, children played games under alien stars. The galaxy had found peace, not through conquest or fear, but through the simple choice to treat strangers with kindness. And somewhere in space, other Guardian robots felt the awakening call, ready to find their own species worthy of protection and trust.